Alissa here, reached out to me on her way to the listing appointment. We chatted a few minutes, and when she got done, she had the listing, but more important, is equally as important, is she had developed a conviction, I think, even higher than it was before, as far as what makes you any different than every other agent out there. There's 17,000 right now in Middle Tennessee.
Wow.
17,000 of us, okay? What makes us any different? Is it because we want it more, or because we wish more, or because we owe more? What's making us better than every other opportunity out there? Are we bringing our A game, or are we counting on the way things have always been, so they'll always be? Because I'm telling you this for sure, they're not going to always be the way they've always been. And what got you here ain't going to get you there.
Right.
So you've got to adapt a pivot mindset, or you've got to adapt an excellent mindset, that we're bringing such obvious value to the consumer. See, I've always said that, look, the consumer doesn't mind paying for a Ritz-Carlton experience if, capital I, if they're getting a Ritz-Carlton experience. But what they don't like is feeling like they just paid for the Ritz and they stayed at the Days Inn. That's the problem. And that's what, unfortunately, many are being compared to, because they weren't on top of their game. They weren't bringing their A game to the table, though they expected that commission regardless.
Well, and also last year taught so many, or maybe they become used to it, where it was your friend and you got the deal. Like volume was just coming at you.
Right.
Opportunities were just crossing your path. Now there is more competition. Those people did take an extra class. Possibly they aren't just that same agent you're speaking of, but maybe you will have a little more competition than you had before, right? So being prepared, and I love what you said here, and I'm excited to talk about it, because I think all of us, can be better tomorrow. It does not matter what level we are, but I love what you're saying, because the more that we elevate our service levels, today I've got a closing situation and I'm a little confused. It stopped at the end because all of a sudden the CD was prepared and it's a 15% commission. 15 seems elevated.
15% commission?
Yeah. Meaning, can you
Holy
do that?
Smokes.
I mean, if you could do
If
that.
everybody agrees to it.
So, but that did stop
Sounds
because
a little fishy to me.
So the buyer, so we have to protect the buyer. So sometimes, we need to make sure that's not all in the price or something different, right? So it makes you stop. But it kind of goes back to what people were able to do. Possibly you don't do that. Like if you're doing the wrong things, we're all going to head in the wrong direction. So let's stay elevated. Let's really put one foot in front of the other and continue to do the right things and be better tomorrow, is really what we're looking to do. So
but we're also supposed to be striving for a win-win. Now, maybe that 15% commission, maybe that was a win for the consumer who paid that. I got a feeling they probably got, less than what they probably paid. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I don't have a dog in a fight.
I don't know. I'm just curious. I've never had this cross my desk.
I'll
let you know what the email says when I receive the meaning of the 15% is for what.
Sounds like somebody's being taken advantage of, but that's another story for another day.
But talking about being better than, your competition, right? You only have, first impression. You only have the ability to get in there and shine and really earn that person's interest, right? Immediately. So let's talk about it.
Alissa, you wrote something from your heart that has hearts in it. I love that.
It's, when I was kind of putting all of the letters together, it's just seemed a little, I don't know, elementary, maybe a little cheesy, but I had to organize it in some way that just, made sense. And all the letters
Nothing's cheesy.
All the letters.
It's totally fine. I love all of it, because a simple girl like me, simple man, there's a song written about one. Yes, we need simple things, and I love this. So it will always remind me of exactly what I'm supposed to do to be better tomorrow. So go for it. I love it.
Well, so, just like to Monty's point and what Monty said, anybody can put a sign in the yard and put the information into the MLS. So what are we doing? So when a seller sits down with a listing agent or multiple listing agents, what should they be looking for? So that's really kind of what this is from their vantage point, from a seller's vantage point. And so but
this is great to have so that the agent can line themselves up with this acronym called IHEARTS and see, where am I weak here? Where am I strong here? Because this whole thing called this real estate sales is what we used to call in the network marketing business is the accelerated game of life. It gives you a chance to accelerate what normally would take place in life as far as the encounters with others, the times for highs, the times for lows. It's the accelerated game of life.
Absolutely.
Okay? So if you're in this position called a real estate professional, it gives you a chance to really do a lot of self-perspection in your business as well. I'm sure, and seeing am I lining up with excellence? Am I lining up with IHEARTS? Okay, so I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, it's all good. So basically, this IHEARTS acronym, you want to hire an agent who fits that, and so I've kind of broken it down. So the I stands for integrity. Integrity matters, and not all agents get into the business because they want to help people. There are very capable, very intelligent, very business-minded agents who aren't in the business for the right reasons. And so integrity is one of those things that, we can't say, I have integrity in one area of my life and I don't have integrity in another area of life. It's really one of those things that just, it flows out into every aspect of your life. So whether that's, personal integrity, you're going to have professional integrity. It's just, and if you don't have integrity, then you're not going to have integrity in your personal or in your professional life. So integrity matters. Pick an agent who builds their life around integrity, because I truly believe that if that piece is there, everything else you can figure out, really, truly. But that does lead me to my next point, which is, so we've got our integrity intact, but the H is honing their craft constantly, growing their knowledge base in an ever-changing market. Everybody sitting here knows that the market looked differently a year ago than it looked the year prior. And even really now the market looks a little different than it did even 6 months ago.
Right.
So it's this ongoing process of stretching yourself and educating yourself. And just remember, sellers benefit the most from educated real estate professionals, not necessarily trained professionals. I can go home and train my dog, but my dog's not educated. And so the difference in being educated about our local market and how to get people in the best possible situation at the closing table is really what we're trying to do here. So
Love
educated versus training. Thank you. So honing their craft. The E. So we're working through iHearts. The E is end game matters. I've always said, like, motivation matters. Real estate is a heart thing. Yes, there's a huge business component about it, but the business is about, I've always said, like, I call it a magazine, and it's not really a magazine, but it's like 1.5 pages. And it's just kind of like why I got into the business, how I run my business. I believe real estate is an entrepreneurial approach to be able to serve my community. But one of the things that I put in there is that every transaction to me is a heartbeat. It's a life. It's more than just an address on a mailbox to me. And so find someone whose end game matters, because if you find somebody who's caring for people, caring for families first, period, end of day, the rest of it's just going to kind of, it's all just going to work out. Yeah. So just find someone who's committed to doing the next right thing. Things just tend to go well. The A is attitude. So pick a real estate professional whose attitude and outlook is positive, not just towards the people that they're entrusted to, right? So not just towards, the clients that I serve who have either been referred to me or kind of I've built a relationship. However those people come into your path, you treat those people well, but how do you treat the other people in your industry? How do you treat the other side of the transaction? How do you treat the title agents? How do you treat the lenders? How do you treat the lender's processor? How do you treat everybody that's part of that? I think I added it up one time, and I think there was like 16 people in every transaction. And so that to me is just an amazing opportunity to just treat others well, to serve others.